Good evening, everyone, and welcome to council. I will call the meeting to order. First off, we have a very interesting, not a terribly heavy agenda tonight, but an interesting one nonetheless. Would someone like to move the approval of the agenda, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, my goodness.
Second.
You gotta get Marina to pick
I think it was a toss-up.
the bones out of that.
Recount.
Okay, there you go. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Approval of the minutes, regular council meeting from December 7th. Would someone like to move the approval of the minutes, please?
So move.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Business arising. I don't know that we have anything
Just
from...
just
Yeah.
one comment, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor, I will make, under the Christmas waste program.
Yes?
I just recall that this Christmas, it was removed from the parking lot of the Civic Center a day earlier than was suspected. And I did follow up with staff, and I believe it was something to do with contacting down the last day or something along those lines. I can't recall now what the answer was, but it was removed one day prior to, it was scheduled to go until the Monday, I believe, and it was taken up on the Sunday, I do believe.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, city manager.
My understanding of it is that, and there you can fill in any things that I make a mistake on, but my understanding of it is that it was supposed to be finished as of midnight that night. I think it was a Sunday, and we had taken the bins away at some point around maybe mid to late afternoon.
Right.
And that was a mistake on our part, and we've corrected it with the contractor, and we're going to happen next year. We'll have a defined rules about it next year.
Irregardless, it's a very good program, as residents have seen over the last number of years.
Absolutely.
Also,
Yes.
also, Mr. Mayor, just to remind the residents of it, our Adopt a Fire Hydrant program is still ongoing, although I hate to say it, we don't have a lot of snow, but just to keep people reminded that they have to keep them cleared, and it's still on the go, and hopefully next year they'll have more digging to do.
There you go. Sounds good. Okay, first item, Deputy Mayor. This is, again, a good regional item here. Shared water supply system, town of Steadybrook.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. The town of Steadybrook has had continual problems with their water supply, and recently commissioned a study to ways to improve the system. One of the options coming out of that study was to connect to the Cornerbrook system. Staff has been approached by the town of Steadybrook regarding the potential of investigating the feasibility of supplying the town of Steadybrook from the Cornerbrook water supply system. As this could potentially benefit both parties, staff requested a proposal from CBCL Limited to conduct a feasibility study. Besides the obvious infrastructure challenges, the capacity of the Cornerbrook system to supply the needs to Steadybrook would have to be explored. The proposal submitted by the CBCL is attached. Be it resolved that the City of Cornerbrook authorize staff to move forward with the request for funding from under the gas tax special fund to conduct a feasibility study into a shared water supply system with the town of Steadybrook. I so move.
Okay, would someone like to second that?
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments on this?
A couple
Yes.
of questions and some comments, I guess, Mr. Mayor. The first question is that it says in here that 100% of the funding will be under the regional, because it's a regional project, will be through the gas tax funds. Will that impact any future submissions by the City of Cornerbrook, given that I assume the City of Cornerbrook are submitting this particular initiative and not the town of Steadybrook?
I don't know. Yeah, Darren, Mr. Charles, would you...
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, it's a special fund, so it's exclusive of our typical gas tax fund. And we, the City of Cornerbrook, would be applying for that funding on behalf of the town of Steadybrook.
Okay. And I guess my next question would be that this issue, particular issue, was considered way back when the water treatment plant was initially being proposed. And the discussion around it at that point in time was that, yeah, it may be potential, it may be possible to do it, but you would have to come in through the back end and up over Marble Mountain and down through. At that time, there was some indication, albeit it wasn't explored by any engineering firm, that it may be cost prohibitive. And I guess I just raise it here now because it's not the first time that this particular initiative has been looked at. Coupled with that was also the potential discussion of whether or not there was any viability of looking at both those projects. When I say both, a second one being, does it make financial sense to take a line and put it across to the North Shore? At that point in time, it didn't, because the existing bridge that was there wouldn't be able to handle the line that would be put across, I guess. And the bridge now up for replacement, there may be some value in not only looking at Steadybrook, but looking at whether or not there's feasibility in doing the North Shore as well, because both lines would have to come in through approximately the same area, is my understanding. You would just take a different branch. What it meant at the time, I really don't know, Mr. Mayor, because it wasn't fully explored, but both may have potential, and I guess I raise it because if the funding is 100% and it's possible to look at both, now may be the time to do so, because in any future upgrades to the existing plan to accommodate the additional literage may occur through additional funding as well, and then you can look at both North Shore and Steadybrook in one type of an expansion. And I'll just raise it here for that particular reason, because in any event, it's going to tax out the existing plan, potentially.
Yep. And I guess that's why we're doing a study. So, yeah, Mr. Charter.
Study, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess that's the study in this case is specifically for Steadybrook.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I
Could
guess
we add on North Shore?
I don't. We haven't received any any interest or any request for that. I think the feasibility, just from a layman's point of view, the feasibility of going to Steadybrook seems a lot more reasonable at this time than going across the bay. So I think this is something that I guess Darren, if you've talked to with the town of Steadybrook specifically, and they had a recent engineering study, as it said. So, yeah. Yes, Councillor Staben.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, I just want to make a quick comment. I think any aspect of regionalization of services to our outlying communities, I think where the economies of scale work out, I think this is a great way to move forward, and it would create some inter-community cooperation. And that's going to be our pathway to success, because nobody's got the financial resources to keep this afloat.
Absolutely. Yep. Any other questions?
And it's clear there in the background that the CBCL study will look at the potential benefits for the city of Corner Brook and the town of Steadybrook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that of course, we all know that our plant, and Donnie can attest to this, there is an incremental cost to how much water we use in terms of chemical, but there's a large base cost to operating a plant. So there is an opportunity, and of course, for those at home, we do share our water right now with Massey Drive and with Mount Moriah, who pay for it and pay the same unit charge that our residents pay. So if there's ways to get economies of scale, of course, I think it's a great opportunity. And as Councillor Staben said, I think that regionalization is going to be dependent on good neighbors, not on a top-down government approach. And I think that we have an opportunity here to cooperate, as we're doing on other projects, and let's see where it takes us. And if we can do it at not at the city taxpayers' dime, but on the gas tax, excellent.
Yeah. The only thing ever was that on the last council, we were using close to 30,000 million liters a day. And I think if we're down now to whatever it was, 20, or, the capacity is there.
Yeah, and is that right, Mr.
We're
Bird?
at about 21 million liters per day. Right?
21, yeah.
We're almost down to 2 trains, right?
Almost down to 2 trains, exactly. 2 of the 3 trains, 2/3 of the plant.
The water leaks are no longer an issue for us.
Don't say that.
Well, I thought I'd get a chuckle anyway.
You jinxed that. Any other questions? Okay, I'll move forward. All those in favor? Aye. Counterminded? Carried. Next item, Deputy Mayor, this is another interesting one. On the other end of the spectrum, wastewater co-treatment, Green Municipal Fund Agreement with FCM.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Both the Corner Brook Pulp and Paper and the City of Corner Brook are required to provide wastewater treatment. There may be possibilities for co-treatment of the effluent which the city wishes to evaluate to determine if there are advantages to treating the effluent, am I pronouncing that right? Yes. In some form of a combined process. The city has received a grant in the amount of $56,200 under the Green Municipal Funds towards conducting an investigation of co-treatment options. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook accept the funding as outlined in the FCM project agreement under the Green Municipal Fund. The Corner Brook City Council authorizes the mayor and city manager to sign the Green Municipal Fund Agreement GMF 16904 with FCM on behalf of the City of Corner Brook. I so move.
Thank you. A seconder?
Seconded.
Thank you. Questions on this item?
Just a timeline, Mr. Mayor. Any?
Mr. Charters?
Mr. Mayor, the study's well underway. I do not know the exact timeline, but they have been working on it for a couple of months.
Okay. Yeah, because we have announced this a while back, or our intention to do this, but it's just a matter of getting some additional funding.
That's correct. This is finalizing the agreement for the FCM contribution to the project.
Okay,
Right.
good. All right.
And,
I will find out from my council know what the exact.
okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Just actually a quick question there in terms of the financing on this one. This one we're doing in cooperation with Corner Brook Pulp and Paper, correct?
That's correct.
And so we're cost sharing, well, we're doing a quarter each and then FCM's coming in for half?
That's correct.
Okay.
Good. Okay, no other questions? Again, another opportunity to cooperate with our partners, so Disco. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Next, Councillor Carey, can you tell us please about an ATV survey we're conducting?
Mr. Mayor, in the spring of 2019, the City of Corner Brook revised its recreational vehicle bylaws to permit operation of four-wheel all-terrain vehicles on designated streets within the city. The original purpose of this designation of streets was to connect ATV trail systems and bring ATV tourism traffic into the City of Corner Brook. The issue, I guess, is since its implementation, there have been numerous requests from residents to be able to access ATV routes from their homes to various points within the city. The city would like to gauge the public's reception to an expansion of ATV program for the City of Corner Brook that may include designating more streets or zones for ATV operations. The survey will garner information from the public about the 2020 ATV season experience and recommendations for the 2021 ATV season. The ATV survey will be online, a survey administered by the City of Corner Brook Information Officer in consultation with the Director of Protective Services. For anyone who wishes to participate but does not have computer access, a paper copy of the survey can be provided upon request to the city. And there are 4 specific areas, I guess, that are being looked at within the questionnaire. And the questionnaire is really divided into 2 sections. The areas being looked at: Sunny Slope Drive area, Townside area, Humbermouth, and Curling. And go back to the original request here, Mr. Mayor, and there's not, I don't see any motion coming forward on that, so it's more of an information item. Mr. Mayor?
That's correct, yeah. I think it's just to give everyone a heads up and promote it, and yeah, I guess we've committed to try and consult as much as we can on this, and I know there's a lot of people who have an opinion on this issue, and I think great opportunity to let us know what you think as we approach the anniversary date of that bylaw. So if we want to make changes, it's a time now to start thinking about those things. So the URL for this is cornerbrook.com/ATV-survey.
We'll be publicizing that the next day or so.
Okay.
Once,
Excellent.
Also, Mr. Mayor, it runs from January 26th to the end of February?
that's correct.
Okay, good. Good
Okay.
news.
The question,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, yeah, I think last fall, when we discussed this, I think I asked a question, and I think you concurred, that there would be some kind of a report coming back at the end of the season as to whether there were any issues, complaints, or whatever. So, I assume then, having heard nothing, that everything is kosher?
There have been some complaints about, some erratic driving, ATVs, and some dirt bikes in certain areas, but for the most part, the program has been very successful.
Yeah.
Once we get the results back from this survey, we'll be able to give you a very concise report on the experience of 2020.
And then, to lead up to any revision.
So I guess the question is, if I live on Longman Street and I want to get an ATV trail, and the transmission lines are right behind me, and I can cross East Valley, and cross Brookfield, and go on up through the next thing. So I'm one person on Longman Street. So does that mean that I get the trail? Or how are we going to decide as to how that process of making a good decision for everybody?
Well, I have been issuing some permits this year, and I've developed a bit of a risk matrix based on the length of time that the person would be on the public street or on designated street, and the traffic levels and the intersections and whatnot on that route that they proposed. And if it was safe enough, we would grant a permit, and if it wasn't, we would not. So that practice will probably be brought forward to council for discussion and enacting a policy as such.
Well, I guess, to a process point, any proposed change to our bylaw would require us to make notice of motion on
Absolutely.
on that bylaw, and then there would be a period of, I would imagine, 2 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Of asking for comment on any changes.
Absolutely.
As we would. So
As long as we're all in the dory together.
That's right.
We got a life jacket.
that's right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go
I
ahead.
did have some conversation with Mr. Flynn earlier on this, and I shared with him my viewpoint after I went through the questionnaire and after I went through the intent of the consultation process. The consultation process is not to evaluate the success or non-success of the tourism component of the ATV program. The consultation process is to determine whether or not there's any interest from the individuals in that area in exploring a potential expansion of ATV regulations. The questionnaire is not designed to accomplish that, and I did share that with Mr. Flynn earlier. The questionnaire, questions number 1 through 12, are really designed and designated to evaluate the impact economically on what the ATV usage in Corner Brook was. Questions number 13 through 20 are more designed and designated to look at whether or not users would entertain the expansion of a policy. And I guess my conversation with Mr. Flynn earlier was that maybe we should separate the two, because if we don't separate the two, we're going to potentially cause confusion in the public. And we're not looking for public opinion on the economic impact. We're looking for public opinion on whether or not there's any potential for future expansion. If we took questions 1 through 12 and sent them to the tourist operators and to the various hoteliers and restaurateurs, we may garner more information on the economic tourism side and then deal with the expanded role of the questions 13 through 20 separately. We may actually have a better input into the process. And I suggested that to Mr. Flynn earlier because I didn't want to come here tonight and him thinking that I wasn't going to raise it, but I need to raise it because I think the questionnaire should be separated into 2 separate components and deal with just the issue of the future expansion in those 4 areas, which is questions 13 through 20, and then those would be the ones that would also be dealt with in the public consultation and not questions 1 through 12 in a public consultation environment. Because if you're going to do a public consultation, 1 through 12 are designed to look at economic impact. 13 through 20 are designed to determine whether or not there's any potential for future expansion. So you're going to have 2 competing groups in a public forum, and I just don't think that's the way we should be doing
But
it.
I guess the consultation would be on the bylaw itself, not on the survey. So I think the survey, what it does is it
But the survey
allows...
is the tool that's being used for the consultation, and that's why I raise it.
Yeah, and the survey, I think, though, helps identify where the person is coming from that's answering the survey.
Yep.
So if someone identifies as not an ATV user and they express a certain number of opinions versus someone who is, versus a visitor, versus a business owner, And I think that's typical with many surveys, that you would, I guess, try to get a gauge about, okay, which user groups are opposed to certain things or would like to see certain things. And I think this accomplishes a lot of different goals, but whatever it is, it's going to, as Councillor Staben alluded to, I think we're going to have to put that together with our experience and, again, the historical data that Mr. Flynn has, and he will come up with a plan ahead, which we'll have to debate and, right?
And I'm not disputing that, I'm just thinking that this will confuse things, because we're trying to accomplish two separate issues inside of one survey tool. And even if you look at question number 7, for business owners, how did the ATV impact on your business? We're trying to evaluate the economic impact, when really what we should be attempting to do is to garner information on whether or not we want to expand the ATV usage through bylaw expansion within those 4 areas, because that's the intent of the information piece. I just raise it because I'm concerned by that, Mr. Mayor. We may not accomplish what we're setting out to accomplish.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
But it's just to measure the success, right? That's all you're trying to do.
We're looking to measure success, but we're also looking for recommendations or ideas for the upcoming
Well,
season.
yeah, you would have to entertain both, yes.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you're trying to get, it's just,
Yeah.
are we going, or, that's what I'm taking out of this.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. That is the intent.
Okay?
Can we just simply, to Councillor Kerry's one, can we just simply wean up the 2 sections?
Oh, yes.
1 to 11 and 12, and a heading for that, and then the last section have a separate heading?
Well,
They sort of go together, though, I think, and this is where it's a survey. This is a wide-ranging survey, so it's not a matter of one versus the other. Everyone can answer these questions. Some will be not applicable. That's
exactly, and we'll be able to delineate exactly where the information's coming from and what they're saying. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Yep.
Next item, Councillor Buckle. Outdoor skating rinks.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the city is currently exploring options for 3 temporary outdoor skating rinks at different areas of the city. The city will build these facilities. However, we are looking for volunteer groups from the community to run and maintain them. To recognize these efforts, the groups will receive an honorarium of $1,000. Any interested groups are encouraged to get in touch at rinks@cornerbrook.com to express their interests. And these 3 rinks, Mr. Mayor, one will be located in Curling at the Robert Taylor Field, one at the Fred Basha Field, and the other one will be the Ambrose O'Reilly Field in Cornerbrook, which I think would be great if we get the cold weather now. Be a lot of fun for a lot of people. And also, one other thing too, is it's good to see that one of our businesses in Cornerbrook came on board, stand out to help out these rinks. So it's good, and all we need now is some organizations or whoever to help it and keep them up. And if we get the cold weather, I think they started today on 1.
Yes, that's correct. One was erected today, and preparation work was started for the second one today. Tarps have been ordered for all 3, and hoping to have at least 1 ready for this weekend, maybe 2, and that depends on the weather. That's what we're shooting for.
Good.
A lot of good things for the outdoor rinks for kids, and not only kids, adults, older kids.
Question for me, if I could.
Yes, go ahead.
One for the Bob Taylor. So are you thinking about using the softball diamond or the basketball court?
That I'm not sure of, Deputy.
I think they were looking at the tennis court.
Yeah.
And I know that the supervisor was talking to the principal about
Yes.
organizing that.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just a comment and probably a question. When the city of Cornerbrook hosted the hockey event 3 years ago, I guess it was now, in February, I guess it was 3 years ago, they used the Cornerbrook Regional Ice Soccer pitch. So just a question, and because in that at that time, there was huge amounts of Class A and Class B materials brought to the field, and then when it was taken down in the spring into the summer after that event, there was a fair bit of work left for the city to get Class A and Class B and the field back into condition to play soccer on, whatever it might be. So in these cases there, and I support the hockey rinks, outdoor skating rinks, sorry. I mentioned it a few months ago to numerous people, and I think it's a great idea. So will we be in the construction of these, like carrying considerable amounts of stone into these fields, or will it be a different way of doing it compared to what we had to do when the city hosted the event for, what was it, Hockey Day in Canada? Hockey Day in Canada 3 years ago. Just some commentary on that.
Yeah, the rinks that we're building this time are going to be somewhat smaller than the ones that we had to build for Hockey Day in Canada. Hockey Day in Canada, we were dictated to exactly the location of where they had to go, so we had to make the site work for the actual rinks. We've chosen the infields of all the softball fields this time, because we know they're fairly level, and because of the gravel, we won't be tearing up the grass and that kind of stuff. So we think it's going to be minimal impact compared to what we had seen on the old Herdman pitch.
Yeah. Yes.
And I assume, Mr. Mayor, that it will probably be some type of a ladder system versus going in with granular material, trying to level out an area and then flooding.
Yeah, we'll be using the snow that's presently there. We'll be using like a 2x6 board system to hold the tarp in the water, and then using that as our leveling course as opposed to granulars.
Okay.
Just one more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
Question and a comment. The honorarium, would that be up front or when it's over? Or how's that go?
Well, we haven't worked that out, I don't think exactly.
Okay, no.
But and I think too that just to be clear, if groups are interested, please get in touch with that email address, the rink set. And if there are multiple groups that might want to share duties to do that, that's something I guess we could entertain. And we'll work with the groups to make sure they can get the materials or things.
It's just something that we're going to be asked.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the other thing too, the comment is, I think this is a great idea because we're involving the user groups, we're involving everybody around town. This is not our rink, this is yours. You want to come up and help us, good for community spirit.
And Mr. Mayor, also, all these organizations are finding it hard to raise money now. This is a great opportunity for, we would have just taken now the beach volleyball down there. And I know they're always looking to get raise a few dollars in that. If they get maybe one group within to go down there, and maybe a softball team might decide to go down there. Okay, we need a registration of the year. We'll take care of it. So it's great to get all the organizations involved in it.
Yep, so look for that, I guess, in the coming days on social media, and get in touch. Okay. Thank you very much. Next item, Councillor Staben, we have some land issues, 51 London Drive.
No, is it 6-1?
Yeah, you skipped over.
Oh, sorry, my thing, you didn't have, sorry, very sorry, Councillor Granter. We have a tender there, right?
I knew, Mr. Mayor, that I spoke too much in the last meeting that you were going to cut.
That's what it is.
I think that's what it was, right?
We didn't even give you a title. Go ahead,
Thank you, Mr.
please.
Mayor. Current fueling system at the city's public works depot requires upgrades to ensure the fueling of the city's fleet is done more efficiently. Current fueling system is dated, and all recorded information is done by hand at a fuel pump attendant. This new system will eliminate the need for a fuel pump attendant and will eliminate human error in recording fuel usage and fuel mileage. Previously, in 2019, Public Works, Water, and Wastewater tendered a new fleet fueling system, and bids received were over budget. Since then, it has been rescoped into this current tender. The tender closed on December 17, 2020, and all compliant bids are listed below. HST Extra, Petro Service Limited, $27,261.60. Petroleum and Environmental Services Inc., $63,250. And 60198 Newfoundland Incorporated, Bob's Electric / Yukon Petroleum for $68,606. Be it resolved that the Corner Brook City Council accepts staff's recommendation to accept the bid of $27,261, HST Extra, by Petrol Service Limited for the supply of new fueling system and equipment. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Someone like to second that?
Second.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, and I'm not being mistrustful of staff, but I need to ask the question. The bid is $27,261 that we're actually supporting tonight. The closest bid to that was $63,250, which is $36,000 more than the bid we're accepting. Did somebody miss the ball in the bidding process, or is it normal to see? Because I mean, really and truly, that's an extraordinary amount of difference between the lowest and the highest bid.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr.
Absolutely. So the bid that we were expecting was in the $30,000 range. We had this tender was basically modeled off one that had been done for Grand Falls Windsor back about a year ago. So we knew what the pricing should have come in at, and the $30,000 approximately was what we were expecting. So the other two bids we felt were just too high.
Okay. Any other
It's a
questions?
huge difference.
Okay. Okay, question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Now, on to land. 51 Lundergan Drive, Councillor Staben.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess the issue at hand for our council tonight, Mr. Mayor, is the owner of 51 Lundergan Drive requested to amend an agreement dated August the 30th of 2020 to extend the deadline to develop the land located at 51 Lundergan Drive from December 31st, 2020 to the spring of this year of 2021. There's some background there that we need to share with everybody. The first purchase and sale agreement was signed in October of 2014, and the developer at the time was unable to close on the land. Therefore, a new purchase and sale agreement was signed in October of 2019 and closed on October 7th of 2019 that year. The developer violated the terms of this agreement with the city, and the city decided to invoke its right to take back the land. Excuse me. The city was advised that the violation was made in error, so the city and developer decided to go with a settlement agreement. In June of 2020, the city and the developer agreed to a settlement that required the building to be 100% completed and an occupancy permit issued by the city on or before December 31st of 2020. This agreement was signed on August the 31st of last year. On December 7th, 2020, the developer requested to amend the settlement agreement by extending the deadline to finish the building and obtain an occupancy permit to the spring of this year of 2021. As of December 31st last year, no development has occurred other than grubbing and partial backfilling that had previously been completed before the spring of the settlement agreement. This development has been ongoing for the past 6 years, and the city has made multiple concessions to allow the development of this land. The Lundergan Drive Industrial Park is a highly sought after, and there have been other developers who have expressed interest in this land. Staff recommends council to reject the request and to amend the agreement to allow the extension to the spring of 2021. And we also discussed this at Finance, Mr. Mayor, and you were there on January the 8th. And I think we concurred with staff at that particular time. So, motion, Mr. Mayor, be it resolved to reject the request to amend the settlement agreement dated October 25th of 2019 and to allow an extension to the spring of 2021. So moved.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, throughout the background piece, it says development. And I guess I don't want to misrepresent or mislead the public. This is really a proposed development. And I guess what the city is talking about tonight is that the development actually did not occur in the manner by which the conditions were laid out with the city. So it's more of a proposed development rather than a development. And I just want to clarify that for the general public, because there's nothing occurred except for backfilling, is my understanding.
Yep, that's correct. Any
Yeah,
other?
we have a timeline in our package, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
That goes back to 2014.
That's correct. Any other questions?
My comment, I don't know, if they're talking the spring and we're into February, I don't know what the month's going to be. You know, I read the letter that he put out there, and I get what I do get what everybody's saying, and it makes good sense. We can't dilly-dally with, you know, we have to treat everybody the same, and I understand that, and you know, this is a business we're running here kind of thing. But being into February and talking spring, my thing is, I don't know why, like, when we say the spring, why instead of saying spring, why don't we say a date, like, you know what I'm saying? Because the spring could be May, or, you know, like, it may be spring, but they can't do anything, there's snow there or something like that. I don't know why we just don't say by a date. Anyway, that's my
Yeah,
thought.
and I don't know, Mr. Park, if you have any insight into, I guess, exactly what was proposed from the developer?
Yeah, I don't have much more than what is in the package there. There was an email that was received from the developer. He didn't specify a timeline. His timeline that he specified was spring of 2021, so.
Okay, that was the, yeah. Any other questions on this one?
But just a point, Mr. Mayor, when you read the background and even in the discussion that has taken place previously, some people might think that or assume that there may have been issues because of COVID-19 with regard to being able to get in and get development done. But the agreement wasn't signed until August the 31st, so we were well into COVID by the end of the summer last year. And I suspect that if the developer, the potential developer, had issues with regard to you know, getting work done because of COVID, then that should have been, or may have been brought up, or should have been brought up, because, you know, again, COVID was maybe back March or August, 5 or 6 months, so there's no indication that it was a COVID-19 issue. Mr. Park, would that be accurate?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is we've experienced pretty much record development numbers in the city this year. There's been quite a bit of construction going on, so I think yes, in this case, it wouldn't be an argument that would hold much water.
Right.
I think we also have to remember on this file is that this land we're talking about is land that's intended for business development, industrial development. It's land that's used for economic development purposes. And so we put timelines in our purchase and sale agreements for these proponents to use this land and put structures on them. Not only brings taxes to the city, which are important, but more importantly, I guess, provide jobs and economic activity for our city. And if people are not using the land but just squatting on it, it does inhibit our ability to find users that will use it. And I know that it was indicated, and we do know that we're getting quite a bit of demand right now around the Lundergan Drive area. And worse than that, we are reaching capacity in some ways. We have very few lots left, so I think it would be it's important to consider that as well when we look at this. Yes.
Just another comment, Mr. Mayor. While this might sound or seem heartless if you're watching us on TV this evening, but I mean, let's remember now that there's been meetings with staff and the manager all last year to try to expedite the process and move this along. So I think we're not as heartless as it might appear.
Mr. Mayor, in addition to, just to add to Councillor Staben's comment, the purchase and sale agreement on this particular piece of property dates back to October 20th, 2014. At that time, we would have agreed to conditions. They would have also agreed to conditions. Both parties would have presumably signed off on those conditions dating back to October 2014, which the agreement with purchase sale agreement was signed by the developer. Within that, and you've alluded to it, and Councillor Staben has alluded to it, there would have been milestones that would have to have been accomplished. There would have been development times or activity that would have been presumed to have occurred within those particular timelines. And I guess it's not being heartless, it's that you can't hold up a piece of property much longer, and we've been working with individuals for 7 years on it, and I guess that's the dilemma that we find ourselves in, unfortunately, is that we have to make a decision, because it's been 7 years trying to get development on that particular initiative.
Absolutely. Okay, any other questions or comments?
So to be clear, if we vote not to accept the extension, then we vote okay back.
And Mr. Park, that's, if we vote to reject the extension, the land will revert back to the city?
Yes, the land would revert back to the city, and the city would then offer to any other developer that has already or in the future expressed interest in it.
Okay. Yes?
One further question. Any funds that have exchanged hands, what would occur with the funds?
Yep. Mr. Park?
Pardon me, sorry, I didn't hit the
Any
question.
funds, I guess, deposits, other?
Yeah, so it would be based on the terms of the agreement, but the funds would be returned to the developer. So the purchaser of the land, they would be returned, and we would then be able to offer the land again for sale.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
this land was what for resale again?
Yeah, we've had a number of individuals in the past who have asked with the land already. Because it was under this agreement, we would have advised them that it wasn't available. So we would first contact any of those people that had previously expressed an interest in it, and if they were still interested, and if not, then we would consider any new applications that we may receive.
Right. And I guess to be clear, this land, as opposed to other city land, is basically a first come, first served kind of arrangement. It doesn't go to a proposal or a tender process.
That's correct. This is land that was originally, there was an agreement with NLHC to transfer the land to the city back in the 80s.
Right.
There's a designated set purchase price for this land, and the land management officer sells it based on a first come, first served basis for that property at the set price.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I understand correctly as well, I guess part of the NLC agreement is that a portion of the sale of the property goes to actually putting a final cap of pavement for that particular area, as I understand it.
Well, actually, the proceeds for the land, 50% of the proceeds from the land actually goes to NLHC to extinguish their mortgage on the property. The remaining 50%, the city retains and uses that for reserve for paving the top coat of asphalt in that area, so.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
I just, so the request for the extension was October 25th?
The request for the extension was received December 7th, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's to amend the settlement we reached in October, yeah. Okay? Okay, so those, I'll call for question. All those in favor of rejecting the request to amend, say aye. The motion is to reject the request to extend.
Oh, reject the request.
Yes, sorry. So all those in favor of rejecting the request to extend? Aye. Counterminded? Counterminded, okay, deputy. Okay, carried. Thank you very much. We just got a lesson in
Negative.
in the Lundergan Drive Business Park. But it is exciting to see some activity up there, and actually seems to be a lot of requests for land now. And as I mentioned, last year was a banner year for development generally, so bodes well for the future. Councillor Staben, we also have two pieces of business, two parcels of land related to 23 and 27 Charles Street.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The owner of 23 Charles Street would like to purchase some land from the city. Background on that, Mr. Mayor, Land Management approached the owner of 23 Charles Street, and they were interested in purchasing the city land located adjacent to their current property. The owner of 23 Charles Street only wanted to acquire the land that their shed was located on, and that was fine with the owner of 27 Charles Street obtaining the remainder of the city land. The owner of 23 Charles Street intends to consolidate this with their current land and keep it maintained. Currently, the land that is vacant and has an approximate area of 59 square meters or 635 square feet. No plans have been made to develop this land as of yet, Mr. Mayor. So the motion, be it resolved to approve the execution of the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Corner Brook and the owner of 23 Charles Street for the city land on Charles Street.
Okay. Seconder?
So moved.
Councillor Buckle, okay. Any questions on this one? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I'm assuming that and I see it in the property purchase price and sales agreement, I'm assuming that the price is in keeping with standard of land that we have.
Yep.
$2 per square foot.
2 per square foot, yeah.
Right, Dave?
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Yeah, but you'll need it for these.
Any other questions there? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Counterminded? Carried. And second verse, same as the first for 27?
7.3.
7.3?
Yep. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, you can't get his iPad to work, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
guide him through the chamber process.
You can take out the 23 and replace it with a 27. And a square footage to a 365 meters.
Put that in the minutes. Background on this, Mr. Mayor, for 27 Charles Street. The owner of 27 Charles Street has requested to purchase land in the city. Land management was approached, and the neighboring property owner was contacted, and they informed land management they were also interested in the city land. Therefore, it was discussed, and the two property owners and the city, that the city land was going to be split. The owner of 27 Charles Street intends to consolidate this with their current land and keep it maintained. We already mentioned the size, 365 square meters, or 3,927 square feet. No land, no options have been made to develop this land as of yet. So, Mr. Mayor, the motion is be resolved to approve the execution of the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Corner Brook and the owner of 27 Charles Street for the city of land on Charles Street. So moved, and the budget implications are $2 a square foot or $7,854. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No. And would someone like to second that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions on this one?
So there's no 25, Charles, is that what we're saying?
I guess not. Is there?
This would have been previously 25.
Right, so this was an undeveloped lot. Okay. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Counterminded? Carried. An update, Councillor Buckle, on the Civic Center operations.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the city's recreation department would like everyone to be aware of a number of programs that are currently offered at the Civic Center studio. Active Tots will run on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every second Sunday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. and it's free of charge, and it's ran by the Guardian, and it includes ages from 0 to 5 years. I guess we're talking about months old.
Yes.
Okay, and also on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. there's a fitness class, an older adult fitness class held by Nora Lundergan, and it's a $2 fee is required, and this can be you can email Nora Lundergan at yahoo.ca for more information. At lunchtime on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. a $5 fee is required. That's where adults can participate in a variety of sporting activities such as basketball, volleyball, or pickleball. So that's taking place there. And let me see. And then on lunchtime, sports drop-in takes place on Tuesday and Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. and a $3 fee is required. And post-secondary or high school students can drop by the studio to practice their skills or play a pickup game of basketball or volleyball. So then there's Friday night youth drop-in. A youth sports drop-in program features basketball and volleyball, will be available for those 12 to 18 years of age. And this program will take place 7:30 to 9 p.m. and a $5 fee is required. And everybody should stay tuned to our social media for details of exciting content, activities, and events we have planned for 2021. So right now, the studio is getting used hopefully quite a bit now with all these new programs coming out and that. It's great to see.
Thank you very much. Any questions on those items? Okay. Yeah, so just keep an eye on our social media, and I know from the city page as well, the Civic Center page, information on these programs is available.
And the staff, Mr. Mayor, is putting it quite often, so
Yeah.
it's good to see.
Absolutely. Okay. And last but not least, we have the city manager's report. Mr. Cumby, could you tell us what you're dealing with from a delegation of authority and stimulus funding, please?
Yes. On January 4th, 2021, the City of Corner Brook received approval for funding under the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador's COVID-19 stimulus program. This funding is approved on the condition that the City of Corner Brook is willing and able to meet the 90-10 provincial community cost share. The total project cost, including HST, is $172,500. Total project breakdown, less GST, partial HST rebate is $135,000. 90% share in funding from the provincial government and a community share of $15,000. So our share is $15,000. All approved projects must be completed in accordance to all applicable legislation, rules, regulations, relevant policies and procedures, and are subject to review. Project start date is February 1st, 2021, and the offer funding form was signed by the city manager on January 7, 2021. There's an attached memo to that lines that this is some upgrades to the recreational, to the civic center.
And I don't know, mine doesn't have the attachment. I was wondering if we could get, maybe someone can give us an idea of what items, kind of items we were...
Mr. Mayor, January 21st, 2021. You're looking, I guess, for the...
No, the items under the stimulus funding. I think that's what we're referring to, right?
I don't have that either.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know who, whether this would be... No.
I have the attachment.
Oh, you have it?
I have
Okay.
the attachment, but it doesn't talk about any of the details of it.
Oh, okay.
But we can use it for minor upgrades, some,
Is repairs and maintenance in the civic center?
repairs, maintenance, upgrade to some, we can build, some little cabinets or put up some pictures, kind of just make the place, spruce the place up basically is what we can do with it. I don't know.
Okay.
In showers.
I guess the
Showers.
work for the elevator was, on the elevator was one of the identified projects that was fairly significant. There was work on the dressing rooms, the floorings in the dressing rooms.
Oh, okay.
Replace those, the showers.
Dressing room floor, showers,
There was also some funding there for some playground improvement, but I'm not sure exactly which playgrounds at this point, so.
Right, okay. No, that's good. Thank
So
you.
we'll have more details on exactly what that is as we move towards the start date.
No,
So,
excellent.
Just a question, Mr. Mayor. So, just for the record, so that we can all understand, what we're getting is $172,500, correct?
172,000.
Yeah, including the HST. Well, that's the...
But, yeah. So it seemed like a big pot of money, and I just...
This is the maximum amount, I believe, isn't it? For this particular fund via the province, I believe. Okay. Yep. Any other questions on that? Okay, and the other item?
Okay, so the next item are the delegations of authority, and I won't read out the background on that. I mean, what it is that, I have certain authority to make decisions without asking council up to a certain amount, and then I had to report these back to council, so these are what these are tonight. January 21st, there's a change order, and Woodman's Culvert change order number 2, supply and install asphalt line, painting to reinstate 1 solid yellow line and 2 dashed white lines, as quoted by AECL at $23.60 plus HSC, and the total dollar value of that is $2,714. The next one is also with the Woodlands Avenue culvert replacement, and supply and install a 22-meter or 375-millimeter diameter HDP storm culvert across Riverdale Road to Brook. A 450-millimeter diameter culvert and a manhole was included in the original tender. Upon execution in the area, it was determined that a smaller 375-millimeter needs. And the culvert could do the job. The 450-millimeter culvert and manhole was limited, and therefore there's no real cost implications to this change. So there's no cost implications to that one. The next one was shower floor and wall tile. That's the other change order with the Jubilee Field building, and that was requested by the owner, and that was requested obviously by us, and that's for $5,416.73. Any questions on these as we go through? You can certainly ask me. And change order number 3 on Jubilee Field baseball building is a credit cash allowance to relocate the bleachers, and that was back to us of $604. And January 21st, Jubilee Field baseball building change order number 4 was credit cash allowance relocation of carpenter hourly rate. And these are just the things that they relocate them back, reallocate them back to
Okay, any questions on any of those items there? Again, as the city manager mentioned, there's a number, there's small change orders and things like that that have to occur. Mr. Cumby has the authority to do. Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll declare the meeting adjourned. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.